Hello, internet children. It's your boy. Stolen that intro from Yup. How's everybody doing? It's your boy Merryfellow. I don't know. That was the most YouTuber intro I've ever done. So you guys have me for an hour, or just about, because I am making my Sonic video. I'm finally recording it. Also, I might be sick, so if I make some really gross noises, I'm sorry. This is not my intention. I have made a continuous lapse in my judgment. So yeah, we're doing alright around here. Might be sick, and I don't know. I think I've got a lot to talk about. Not just about the game, because I've kind of like decided executively that I also want to talk about the game itself. Considering the fact that I'm watching it, because essentially what's going on is this Sonic video is incredibly long, and there's a really cool edit in the middle, and also I want to give time to the really awesome, what's it called, the cutscenes. So, yeah. I give them their time in the light to kind of relax and have a good time. And now I'm rambling. Anyway, yeah. I'm watching the footage as I'm recording this. That way I can kind of get a beat on where I'm supposed to, where I'm supposed to clip the audio. That way I don't have to do it later on in post-production. So, yeah. With that being said, I don't know. There's just a lot. There's a lot. I feel like this isn't a chill Doom video, so I shouldn't be kind of like chilling, but at the same time, it's also one of my voice acting, well, not really voice acting video, but it is still one of my videos where I talk at you guys. Voice over video, let's just say it like that. It's not one of my face cam videos, because face cam videos, I don't usually do this. I usually talk about the game, I usually talk about something else that's going on. Whatever, I have a whole system and I have a whole thing. It's silly and it's YouTubery, but I don't know. It's just fun for me. So yeah, anyway, sorry, tangent. We've already passed 2 zones by the time that I've finally gotten around to actually talking with you guys. So, I guess the first thing I kind of want to talk about in terms of like stuff outside of the game itself is I'm graduated. Like, I am officially graduated. And it's kind of weird. You know? Like, at my old high school, which, I mean, I'm 18 now. I don't really care. Like, I doubt someone's gonna go crazy and, like, try to find me. I have now 77 subscribers. I really doubt it. But yeah, no. Woodland Park High. The really interesting thing about that high school was the principal. And that principal was not a really good motivator. I remember his freshman orientation. That was a gross word. When it was my freshman orientation, we kind of got sat down, and it was right after COVID too. Actually, it was during COVID, I think, because it was like a month. I want to say it was like the end of May. Anyway, so we took a trip to the high school because we're moving on to high school and we're graduating from middle school and whatever, right? So our freshman orientation, he was like, he tried to give us a motivational speech about like, oh, well, you know, you're gonna do amazing things at this school, and we're gonna try and nurture you to be your best, but these courses are also designed for some of you to fail. And for those of you that do fail, you fell into the trick of this curriculum, and essentially saying, like, if you fail, it's because you suck, and you're probably not gonna graduate. You know, I guess at Woodland Park, the curriculum sucks. Essentially, they have us doing this, it's like online learning, essentially, and it's more made for college students because it's about self-starting and managing your time and learning how to kind of learn around your own schedule. And me, being a little freshman and a little sophomore, right, I didn't know how to manage my time. I didn't know how to manage my time in 6th grade when we were introduced to it. So, as you can imagine, didn't really work out. And my first 2 years of high school, I monumentally effed up. I was not great at it, you know? And then, when it comes down to my junior year, I changed schools to Palmer. And the thing about Palmer is it's not traditional learning, because it's not like, you know, you have like 800 books and there's chalkboards and the teacher's super mean to you and the gym teacher is probably banging the English teacher. Why did I make that joke? Anyway, you know, it's not a traditional school. It's not Jimmy Neutron's school. It is still like you have computers and you carry them around and your bag weighs 100 tons because the computer, for some reason, even though it's incredibly lightweight, weighs like 5 pounds and it's ridiculous. And it's also all the papers that you have to carry, and it's ridiculous. So, when I came to Palmer, and kind of throughout my entire high school journey up to that point, I was like, I really want to graduate, and I want to do it out of spite of this principal who sucks. He was let go after a certain point, which was really nice. That real boost to my ego that he wasn't able, because he was also like, oh yeah, you guys are the class that I get to walk off and watch graduate. Yeah, no, you got booted before then. As a matter of fact, Woodland Park's graduation is the day after I filmed this. So, anyway, yeah, he did not get to see my class graduate. Big womp womp, big loser moment, freaking big ol' L. L plus ratio plus you suck, Lamau. So, with that in mind, coming into my senior year, like, I had almost all my credits. I had to get the last few down. And I did, because I'm awesome. So, it essentially just kind of like, I did graduate out of spite. And, I'm gonna be real, the ceremony was... It was nice, what they were trying to do. Was it executed perfectly? Nothing's executed perfectly. At the end of the day, it was nice to come up on stage and bow and wear my cool clothes and then turn my tassel and then get my diploma, kinda, because it's in boxes that they don't tell you about. But, you know, they did really cool performing arts stuff. The orchestra was really good. The chamber singers were awesome. I love our choir. I love our orchestra because I love performing arts stuff. Like, if you have watched any of my past videos, I've talked so much about theater. It is actually disparaging and kind of sad. But, yeah, no, like, this is kind of... I don't know. The graduation ceremony was nice. And then I come home after having a nice dinner and all this cool stuff, and I just felt... I felt accomplished, you know? Like, I'm graduated, right? And that's the coolest thing. So yeah. That was really cool. And I kind of wanted to talk about that. I think for Chill Doom, the next episode that's going to come out, I'm definitely going to talk about my experiences with Charlie Brown, and also something else that I think is really cool that I didn't really talk about on this channel, and I didn't really advertise that well, which, I'm gonna be real, was definitely on me. But, yeah, no, I'm very excited to talk about that, but I want to kind of review the game that's an hour long on my channel. So, Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know. Kind of watching back the footage, I realized how much I was not having a lot of fun playing it. And that's not to say that I don't think this game is fun. As a matter of fact, I really love the original game. The problem is, I suck at it. For the most part. I guess I have it in my head that, like, I play the game differently depending on the port. So, if it's the Android port where you just have the spin dash, then I'm pretty good at it because I play it like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 because they have the spin dash. If it doesn't have the spin dash, then I play it like it's its own game because I get my own momentum and I do my own thing and I do it the way that it's intended to be. With this version, because I'm playing it through Sonic Origins, which is a really good port, actually. Like, I feel that's another thing that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but I'm going to continue talking about the game at hand here. This game, I don't know, there's something very strange about the Sonic Mania kind of way that this game is presented, because it uses the Retro engine, and that means that they kind of allow you to, it's not quite Genesis physics, where, like, Sonic had a set jump, and then you could, no, he didn't have a set jump, what am I talking about? He had a certain jump height when he was standing still, but then you could manipulate that physics into doing this, and then you have to get momentum, and then you have to use the spin dash correctly. For the Sonic Origins playthrough, you just kind of, I abuse the drop dash, if I'm being real. And that's the same thing with actual Sonic Mania when we get to that on this channel, one day in a million years, because my upload schedule sucks. I feel like the Sonic Mania playstyle, it messes with me a little bit, because I play Sonic, like, my introduction was Sonic Unleashed, and I play every Sonic game a little bit like that, especially if I'm given the tools to, because I love going super fast, and in Sonic Unleashed, you go incredibly super duper uber fast, so if at any point, I'm like, drop dashing a million times, or spin dashing like way too much, that is because I am playing it like, oh, I get to use this ability to go super fast, which means I'm going to go super fast in an area that it's not appropriate to go super fast in. So just kind of be warned of that. I think the thing that kind of stumps this game, like Green Hill, already, it's iconic, yeah, but it's not a perfect level. I feel like in this game it's really good. Like, it's actually mostly perfect in this game. In the Game Gear version, it's got a little bit less going on, but that's okay. That's kind of expected after a certain point. And then every version kind of after that tries to do something with it that's unique. And I feel like the more that you try to do a unique Green Hill zone, the more you almost can mess it up, but at the same time, the more you keep it the same, the more it sucks. So, it's kind of hard to really place Green Hill on the map as a zone, because it is very much a zone that is, you do or die, and you have a great time, but depending on the context that it is played in, you could have a really good experience with it, or you could hate yourself by the end of the day. And you could be bored with the game, which sucks, because that is not something that you want, either as a game designer or as a Sonic game, because you don't want that game to be boring. It is a really, because Sonic's cool, I'm sorry, I love Sonic, it's really cool. So, I'm rambling, I think, but I don't care. Then you get Marble Zone, and the big issue with Marble Zone is the fact that it is puzzles. Like, I think the issue with the zone is they definitely went hard on how they designed it. Like, they made it a really visually stunning zone for the time. The issue is, it's also just slow. You know? Is somebody knocking at my door? Yeah, no, I didn't think so. I guess I'm just going crazy. Anyway. Yeah, the issue with Marble Zone is the fact that it is based more around puzzle solving and platforming than the other zones are. And it kind of makes the zone feel gimmicky, I guess. And Sonic has always been about gimmicks, if you kind of look at it through that lens, because you have these games with all the different zone mechanics, and then you have, like, as the times slowly go on with the Genesis games, there was less gimmicks, because you had, yeah, I think there's something very much intrinsic about how you play Sonic and how the game is played, because Marble Zone, it's puzzle solving, and when you get the introduction of how to move super fast with Green Hill, and then you don't get to move super fast in Marble Zone, so that messed me up a lot. like, watching the footage back, I fell down into a lava pit, like, twice at least. And that's not what they recommend, because I was going too fast, and I wanted to not be slow. And there's a couple times where you can go fast, but it's not often. Spring Yard is a very different case, because it is essentially kind of what should have followed Green Hill, despite the difficulty. Like, if they had just made it a little bit less difficult and then built up to how difficult it could be, that would be good, because it allows you to go super fast. As a matter of fact, Spring Yard encourages you to go fast using the ball form. Like, one of the main big enemy types is those little spiky guys that roll around. The roly spiky guys, they are 100% the gimmick of the level, where it's like, oh, you have to roll into them, that way they die, and then you have the little dude that looks like Sonic that rolls around, that I thought was Metal Sonic when I was a itty bitty kitty. So yeah, all in all, I don't know, like, these first 3 zones of Sonic, they kind of almost perfectly map out how the zones and the layouts of the levels would be in future titles, because it's either A, super fast, really good, or B, kind of puzzle solving, which is not cool. And that continues even into the later games, like, I want to say Sonic 06 does it a little bit, definitely in the Silver campaign. I cannot wait to play Sonic 06. I have very interesting opinions about that game, I think, because I'm very full of myself. I want to turn it down because it is so loud in my earballs, but at the same time, I feel like if I turn it down, the play bar will stop, and then I will have to kind of edit out the moment that I pause it, and I can't talk during that, and that will suck. And I love talking. I love hearing the sound of my own voice. He says wearing headphones that silence him so he can barely hear himself. I just kind of consciousness check. I just realized that I exist for a second there. So, I don't know. I feel like as the zones go on in this game, they kind of get worse. Like, not in terms of design. I think the designs of these stages are probably some of the best in the series, because they're working with what they have, and they have style, every single one of them. Like, it is not Sonic Forces, for instance, or even Frontiers to a certain extent. Like, yeah, they have interesting visual styles. Like, Forces kind of takes advantage in its marketing of the gritty realism, and, like, has smoke and fire, and, like, they have glitchy effects sometimes that are really cool. I also like the clinical, sterile, like, creepy environments of some of the later levels. Like, those are cool. The issue is, there's levels like the faux space colony that they had in Sonic Adventure 2 when you're escaping from the prison, and it's just lacking entirely of visual flair. Like, there is absolutely nothing about those levels that is interesting, because they just look like a bad version of the Space Colony arc. And let's be real, the best modern adaptation of the Space Colony arc that I have seen, in terms of, like, design and color, well, not design, but in terms of color, has been Sonic Generations: The Rival Fight. I don't even think Shadow Generations really did justice to the look and style of Sonic Adventure 2, but still applying it within the modern day aspects of Sonic. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Also, another game that I'm excited to play for you guys on this channel, Sonic and Shadow Generations, because top-notch, truly. I really do love those games. They're really cool. Forces and Frontiers, not so much. I don't really have I don't like Frontiers for the most part. It's fine. It's kind of just okay. It's not as high quality as Shadow. And after playing Sonic Adventure 2, I'm kind of like, eh. You know, it's just kind of, eh. It's not really that great. It's not, you know, it's not, I don't think it's the Renaissance Sonic that kind of everybody says it is. Like, yeah, the movement's good in the, what's it called, in the cyberspace. or not the cyberspace, in the open zone, but the moment that you go into the levels, the cyberspace levels, absolute, like, garbage. Also, there is no sense of momentum, and it gives me flashbacks to Sonic 4. Like, genuinely, sometimes when I'm playing Sonic Frontiers, I go, oh my god, I'm getting flashbacks! I'm getting flashbacks to Splash Hill! Yeah. Another game that I refuse to play on this channel is Sonic 4. I absolutely refuse. I get that it's canon, mostly. I have to pee, but Sonic 4 is not good at all. I played, like, okay, look, this is gonna be a little bit, I don't know if I should say this. Well, I guess I should. I got the mobile ports of these games. Let's say it like that. I got the mobile ports of these games. And Sonic 4 Episode 1 is leagues better than Sonic 4 Episode 2, I will say. At least in terms of, like, I guess not really level design, it's just, like, the issue that I have with Episode 2 is the fact that a lot of the, I don't know, I guess a lot of the levels, they're designed around the principle of you are playing this on a mobile platform, but also not at all. It's kind of more designed around inconveniencing you if you're on a mobile platform, as most of the Sonic mobile ports are. Like, and I don't mean this in the Christian Whitehead way, because their team is incredible with what they did with the Retro Engine, like, truly. It is more on the Sega aspect of it, because they decided to say, hey, you know what, all the ads and stuff that we could put in this game, let's just pile drive them. I remember I was in the middle of Green Hill, because usually it takes me like 30 to 40 seconds, depending on the mood I'm in, to finish Green Hill. And the moment I was halfway through the stage, I got an ad, because the ads won't load. Like, they are very slow to load, and maybe that's just because of how old my phone is, maybe that's because I had to upgrade the app, I don't know. But, yeah, the ads, the business part of these mobile ports, not good. Same goes for Sonic 4 Episode 2. It's just not enjoyable in that terms of aspect. The first Sonic 4, the first episode, the thing I don't like about it is the repetitive levels, because it is Splash Hill, which is Green Hill, and it's lamer. It's Lost Labyrinth, which is Labyrinth Zone, but lamer. And it's like, it's very not good. Let's just say it like that. It's not a good gameplay experience. It's not really that nice of a gameplay experience. It's very unforgiving sometimes. Episode Metal is kind of just mid. It's just Sonic 4 backwards, and you're destroying badniks for some reason. I didn't really there's no manual, so I couldn't read if, like, the reason why Metal Sonic was destroying the badniks that Eggman left in those zones is because I guess they're defective. I don't know. I really gotta pee. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm sorry, that's a little bit TMI, but, like, I'll be right back. I gotta go really fast. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Back from my little mini break. For you, it was an instant. For me, it was not an instant. So, Sonic 4. And yet again, like I said, like I was saying, the issues that I have with a lot of the game is the fact that it is just not good. Like, the levels designed poorly, because they are just worse versions of Sonic 1 levels and Sonic 2 levels a little bit. And then you get, also the engine. which also stands true for, like, certain modern, or you can't really call them modern, but certain games from, like, 2017 till about when Sonado Generations came out. And yeah, it's Sonado Generations, okay? Sega even put themselves on the friggin' cover. It's Sonic X Shadow, Sonado. Anyway, up until about that time, the thing is, the engine is not good for some of these Sonic games. And it is the fact that there's no momentum. Like, it's essentially putting Sonic in Source. Like, when you put your character as Sonic in Gmod, and you just don't, like, change any of the movement settings, and you just sprint, there is no real momentum in the later Sonic games until Sonado Generations, where there's a little bit of, like, they're starting to get back on the, if you're running at full speed and then you stop pushing on the, what's it called, on the directional stick, and then you just, like, you just walk for a little second, and then you lose your speed. That's momentum, and I think that's also just an issue with the gaming industry at large. I think we abandoned physics-based stuff after Half-Life 3 has been in development hell. Because, like, everybody after, and a little bit before Half-Life 2 came out, they were like, oh my god, how cool would it be if, like, you could interact in a physical environment with your surroundings, and then you could pick up this object, and it serves no use to you. Oh, I just hit my arm! Ah, Farik! Yeah, I just said that. Nothing else, I did not say anything else. The idea that, like, a lot of the, there's no more momentum in video games anymore. I can't explain it, there's no physics, there's no momentum. I think my favorite piece of momentum physics is Spider-Man 2, at least in recent years, because they have it down to a T. If you are swinging in midair and you go really super duper fast and then you stop swinging, you are either going to smash your face on the concrete and you're going to die, or you are going to fly for like 2 miles, or maybe like 400 miles, and then you will die. So, yeah, I feel like that's something we should aspire to get back to, that kind of early 2000s and certain points in the 90s kind of mentality of, hey, let's have momentum physics and actual, like, object physics in these games, because I think it's really cool. Can you imagine if Sonic Frontiers had realistic movement, or not realistic movement physics, but like kind of the movement physics of even Sonic Adventure and the Sonic games that are made by Christian Whitehead and the gang with the retro engine, and, you know, all these different things? Can you imagine how it would be, you could exploit the map even more, and also, like, get rid of the floaty controls whenever Sonic Frontiers 2 or Sonic Chaos, which is apparently an ideal we're floating around now, even though the Game Gear already did that in 1993. Wow, I'm a nerd. I just realized that right now. I'm a dork. I'm a dorkosaurus. I'm a dorkaholic. I'm mentally unstable. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of my issue with Sonic 4. Continuing on with my semi-review of Sonic 1 while I'm talking about other games. We are in the middle of Labyrinth Zone, and I'm just in love with this level a little bit. Like, I hate it, and I dread it, but I'm not gonna go crazy if I have to play it, you know? Like, if I was told, hey, play Labyrinth Zone, and get, like, $1 quadrillion that you can use to do whatever you want with. You could go up to somebody and commit horrible atrocities, or you could donate it to like 1 billion charities and still have enough money to support yourself for the rest of your life, to the point of absolute absurdity. That kind of deal. Somebody told me, hey, play Labyrinth Zone and you get that money. I'm not gonna say no! It's freaking Labyrinth Zone, and I'm gonna have a good time while I do it, because the thing about Labyrinth Zone is, even though I kind of do hate it a little bit, I do dread it when it comes up, I'm not hating on it severely. Because, okay, well that was stupid. The identity of Labyrinth Zone, like the look of it and the kind of the sound of it, it's really cool, and I like how it's not fully an Eggman controlled area. Like, it's still blending into that natural idea of who Sonic is and how the world of the Sonic games works. Whereas with like Spring Yard Zone and even a little bit Marble Zone before it, like, I understand exactly why they said, hey, maybe we should put this level before or after Green Hill. And then they realized, oh my god, the difficulty spike would kill people. I get why they wouldn't put Labyrinth Zone after Green Hill, but in terms of aesthetic, I wish they did, because Labyrinth Zone's aesthetic works so well with the naturalist theme of Sonic and trying to go against that corporate machinery that's going to ruin the world. Like, that is a cool idea for a zone, and the idea that it's like, it's this watery cave with all these runes and stuff, and like there's vines and there's traps because it's a labyrinth, but it's still freaking cool, right? Like, it's going into that idea of like Angel Island, and I wonder if Labyrinth Zone could be also an Angel Island zone. Like, come on, bring that into the table. Why not have that be one of the things, like right before Mystic Cave? Yes, Mystic Cave Zone. So, Labyrinth Zone is pretty cool. I think the boss, quote-unquote boss, is kind of stupid, because it's just, hey, chase Eggman up a challenging little thing of spikes and stuff. However, at the same time, what I like about that boss fight, because there's pros and cons and everything, it is that, well, sometimes, it is that boss fight is unique and it stands on its own, because it's not necessarily it's more like a set piece than a boss. It is, you are going after Eggman because he's trying to infiltrate these caverns that have all these runes and all these ancient things that are completely unknown to the viewer even now, and completely unknown to Sonic, but he wants to protect it that badly. So he's chasing Eggman out of here because he's not even like trying to commit an evil plot. He's just trying to take over a little bit. And Sonic's like, nah, fam, get that out of my zone. Get out of here. Leave. And he chases him out like he's freaking Shrek. It's awesome. So while I don't like it as a boss fight, because you can't really stop Eggman other than hitting him a few times as you escape the water and as you get into the water and every now and again before then, it is a really cool set piece, and I think we need more boss fights that are like that. Almost like the Final Hazard from Sonic Adventure 2. Like, that is a set piece at the end of the day. There is really no boss fight behind that. Yeah, there's a boss health bar, and yes, he's technically a boss fight because you're fighting him as Super Sonic and Super Shadow, but that is more like, that is a set piece because you are, as the freaking, the Space Colony Arc is crashing down to Earth as it's trying to destroy all human life as we know it, all of the life of the animals and all of the life of Sonic and his friends. As that entire thing is hurtling down towards Earth, you and somebody else who has been a bad guy the entire game get to fight this gigantic freaking lizard on the end of the thing as it's crashing into Earth as Super Sonic and Super Shadow, which is awesome. You get to hear Live and Learn in the background the entire time. Double awesome. Like, the thing about certain boss fights in Sonic is that they're not supposed to be boss fights. They're just supposed to be these incredible spectacles. And I think in this game they started that with the chase between Sonic and Eggman. So, on that standpoint, I think... Sorry. Labyrinth is really cool. Like I said, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. It's very nice to me. I don't know why. I just like it. I dig this zone's aesthetic. I dig the music. I dig the traps. For the most part, I think sometimes they're a little cheap, but once you learn how to work around them, like you have to do in every Sonic game, you actually kind of have a good time. Like, the pattern when you're chasing Robotnik is you have to essentially roll jump in between these two spears that are going to jut out of the ground, and then you have to be able to narrowly jump onto the gargoyle head that shoots pellets, and then you have to just repeat that. And I know that that's stupid that you have to repeat that, but it's still really cool how they do it, because it tests your platforming capability, but with the Sonic principle of you have to have momentum to do this. Almost like the skip in Marble Zone that you can do, where you can like jump across the 3 platforms. That is awesome. You know, that is sheer Sonic, because you are trying your best to learn how to play this game, and you understand that, ooh, if I use my momentum right here, I can jump between these things. Except with Labyrinth Zone, it is mandatory that you do it. So whereas with Marble Zone, yeah, you'll get punished a little bit if you don't have rings, but, you know, you can still collect your rings, and then you can run back to the platform and get out of there. Yeah. So I still F it up because I suck a little bit, but I just love these games for how they're like, if you get punished, that's your own fault. You have the tools, you have the know-how. It's not like this game is impossible. You can do it probably better than you can do any other game in the Sonic series. You just gotta learn how to, you know, play the game and actually do the tricks that they give you. So for that, I think Marble Zone is really cool. I think for the fact that you can drown in it, and the fact that it spends the majority of it in water being super slow, not as good. Not nearly as good. But still, it's a pretty cool level. Starlight Zone, which hopefully would be perfect with this transition. Hopefully, maybe. Starlight Zone is really cool, because it is the return of that kind of principle of Spring Yard and Green Hill. That is, go as fast as you would like. As a matter of fact, we embrace you to go as fast as you would like. Just know that there's tricks and traps and things. The only thing that detracts from this level, like the only thing, is those damn bombs. I hate those little badnik bombs. They suck so much, and I need water really badly. Hold on. You get to hear me walk around a little bit. That's fine. You know that I'm a real human person, not AI. Good lord. For that nonsense, for that silly stuff. Anyway. Water. So. Oh, hip, knee. That sucks. Bad hips, bad knees, everybody. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Spring Yard. Not Spring Yard. Starlight. What am I talking about? The thing about Starlight Zone, those damn bombs! I hate those bombs. Because in my time of playing this game, which has been at least from 2015? Yeah. I want to say like 2015 onward, if that. Maybe 2014 onward. So that must mean I have been playing Sonic 1, the original, since 2014, 2015. Which means, so I remember it distinctly, it was 3rd grade. It was right after I had finished 3rd grade. I got Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection as my, like, hey, congratulations, you don't suck at going to school, you just got out of 3rd grade, good job, we're proud of you, son. That was my gift for getting out of 3rd grade. So, if that's the case, that was 10 or 11 years ago at this point. So, never in my 11 to 10 years of playing this game have I ever found a way to destroy those gosh diddly danged bombs. Oh, by the way, here's that edit I was telling you guys about. It's a gift. You guys should love gifts. I don't give you guys anything. So enjoy this, enjoy this, enjoy this. Oh! It hurt my butt. Good lord.
Nice shoot, fit, sistiguch, surge, gauge, flute, depth, fix, burpooted, agility, flute, port, 7-4, fit off of the Volvosico.
That was a fun edit, wasn't it? Took me like 3 hours to do that. We're back. Little intermission there for the fail count, which was 6 fails, by the way. It took me an hour. Anyway, yeah. I've never been able to find a way to defeat those bombs. I hate them with all my mortal soul. I damn them to hell. I hate them so much. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Starlight a little bit. I'm not even gonna say that because I know I'm gonna edit it in a way that sucks. But yeah, screw it. There's a moment where the bombs are in the chamber and we just passed it, and now I'm on the spinny thingies, the elliptical, whatever it's called. Don't sink it, me. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, those bombs, man, I hate them beyond my wildest dreams. So unless there's a secret hidden way, like I'm supposed to freaking jump their bones when they least expect it, you know, unless there's a way to defeat the bombs, I hate them with every fiber of my butt. I hate them so much. So yeah, I would say Starlight is kind of a perfect, like, third best zone. I would say it's actually second best. It's above Springyard, because the thing about Springyard is it's just loud, you know. It's just not a good speed level. It's a good rolling level. It's a good rolling around at the speed of sound level. People are texting me on Discord, and I love listening to their conversations. Watching their conversations. But yeah, I don't know. I think the way that Starlight matches up with the rest of the game, I would say it matches up with it pretty well because of the aesthetics. But when it comes down to gameplay, it really only compares to Green Hill. There's no other zone that's quite like Starlight other than Green Hill, and of course Springyard. But Springyard is a rolling level, not really a speed level, I would say, like I said earlier. I don't know. I'm tired, man. I'm sleepy. I'm sick. Probably sound a little different. I don't know. Oh god. More gross noises while I watch myself get the green emerald. I've been trying to edit them out. I mean, like, I'm sure when I go back through, I'm gonna try and edit them out. But, I don't know. I don't know about that one either. I'm gonna be real. I don't really want to review the next zone before we get to it, you know? But that's gonna take a little bit, because these special stages, man. I've been kind of doing this thing where I speed up if there's a moment where I don't get the emerald to kind of save your guys' time and save my own time. Actually, no, it costs me a lot of time. Thankfully, it only took me 2 tries to get the freaking green Chaos Emerald, but still, the fact that it took me 2 tries is more than 1 try, and that is annoying to me. Yeah. I don't know. I should talk about the Chaos Emerald sometime. How about I talk about them right now, because we still have Act 3 to go through. So the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 1 are a little annoying, are a little not fun to deal with, if I'm being real. Because the Chaos Emeralds in this game don't serve a purpose, really. They're kind of just a way to explain Robotnik's plot, like, oh, he wants to collect the Chaos Emeralds, and they'll give him power so he can take over the entire landscape there in South Island. So, while I understand the way that they use them, they're kind of more just like a completionist thing. I don't really like them in this game because they don't serve a purpose. You can't get... I don't think you can get Supersonic in Sonic Origins. I know you can in the mobile ports, because the mobile ports, I think after a certain point, they just kind of like said, fuck it, we're gonna just have fun with this. We don't care anymore. So, yeah. It's kind of this... It's different in Sonic Origins, though, because it follows very closely with the same completionist kind of like, oh, this is... This is how you're supposed to play Sonic. This is how you get the thing. Yep. Congratulations. And the way that you get the Chaos Emeralds is almost always consistently annoying. Like, it's not all that fun to collect the Chaos Emeralds in really any game. I think the most fun I've ever had collecting the Chaos Emeralds that wasn't like in a story way, like Sonic Adventures. Sonic Adventures, as in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, is Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because you do little sphere games. The sphere games are very fun to me. I like the sphere games. Because they're just silly. They're just fun. They're dumb fun. I love them for that reason. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion on the Chaos Emerald in Sonic 1. As for later games, since they kind of keep with the same motif of, hey, you gotta go through special stages to collect these. The thing about Sonic 2 special stages is that they're very annoying. They're easy to get into, but they're a bitch to finish, because it is essentially, you gotta run around in a semi-3D environment and collect a certain amount of rings, because otherwise, screw you, you don't get the emerald. Right? And then, in that game, the Chaos Emeralds are actually useful because they let you be Invincible God Mode Sonic. They let you be Mark Grayson if he was a Sonic character. That was the stupidest joke I've ever made. That was not funny. Yeah, and then Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Excuse me. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the special stages in that game are much more manageable. I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is probably my favorite of the 2D games, because it is not... It's a really good game. Like, truly, the zones, the design, everything, that game just kind of aces it. Whereas with... Oop, I just bumped my microphone. I almost burped. I don't want to do that because I'll have to edit it out. I'm not going to like that. Or I could leave it in. I'll probably leave it. I'd probably leave it in anyway. I don't care. Stop. But whereas with... Ooh, Scrap Brain. Whereas with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it's about that, hey, here's the 3D thing, and here's the cool spheres and stuff. And then later games, they just keep getting weirder. So, instead of talking about Sonic Heroes' special stages, let's talk about Scrap Brain Zone and the fact that it has 0 special stages, which is so annoying. Yeah, Scrap Brain Zone, I don't know how to feel about it, really. I think it's the most like a gauntlet that I think the entire game has been up to this point. Like, Labyrinth Zone, yeah, that's objectively very difficult. That is a difficult stage, and you can still have fun with it. I still have fun with it. I talked about that earlier. But Scrap Brain, it's like a less enjoyable version of Marble Zone, really. Not necessarily in terms of aesthetic or how the mechanics work. It's just a much lamer version of Marble Zone. Like, yeah, you get to do fast sections, but they don't feel earned, you know? Whereas with something like, with Marble Zone even, the moments that you can go faster are much more rewarding to go faster than in Scrap Brain. Because Scrap Brain, the levels feel very short, and that means they're just not very fast. You know? Even though you can probably run faster in this level than you could in probably any other level in the game, other than Starlight Zone maybe, it's just not, you know, there's no real words to describe it. It's just not really, it's kind of mid, frankly. I do like the aesthetic of it. It gives me flashbacks a little bit to Metropolis Zone from Sonic 2, which gives me anxiety and makes me mentally ill a little bit. Like, it makes me want to go to Grippy Sock Prison, but, you know, that's fine, it's fine. I think the thing is, with this zone, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot visually, it's a lot auditory, I don't know. Shut up. In terms of the music and in terms of the sound effects, it's a lot. I will say I like the music for Scrap Brain Zone probably more than a couple other zones, because there's this really fascinating thing about how, like, when you listen to it in its weird chiptune form, it's kind of silly, and I think people have kind of gotten the wrong vibe from this. Maybe this is, I don't mean to say like, oh, their opinions are wrong, mine is the only one that's right. Don't hear that. People tend to not really hear the fact that there is a ghostly choir in the background. Like, usually they just attribute that to, like, a higher pitched whistle and not, like, an actual singing person. That is the voice. Okay, that is a human voice. And I think it would be very fascinating if we ever got to see, like, a remaster of Sonic 1 with, like, Jun Sonoe not doing the stupid, silly Genesis-esque retro, who's it? It's Genesis synth, I think. Not that kind of thing. But if we could hear, like, the Sonic Adventure era Jun Sonoe music, where it's actual rock and actually really good and not silly and a little bit cheap, I think they could do a really baller version of Scrap Brain's theme, because can you imagine, like, this creepy, haunting ghost voice kind of being the main melody of the song, and then you have, like, Sonic's bit underlaying it? Because the fascinating thing about Sonic's music thus far is that it's slowly and progressively gotten more, like, I guess, evil sounding. It's gotten more like a Robotnik song over a Sonic song. Because usually the music that familiarizes you with Sonic is upbeat, and it's a little bit rock-esque and pop-esque. Whereas with Robotnik, it's very much like movie villain kind of soundtracks. Like, it is creepy, and they turn up the factor of, like, the, you know, that kind of thing. They turn up that as opposed to anything else in the game. And they up the creep factor in Scrap Brain. So, if you can imagine, like, the creep factor of the Eggman music from the adventure games coming into Sonic 1 and kind of allowing itself to be present with the original themes of Scrap Brain, would be so cool, dude! I'm in love with the music in Sonic. Not necessarily the stages in this game. I think for the most part, Sonic 1 is an experience. Let's say it like that. Sonic 1 is an experience over the other games, which are games. You know? It's to the point where, like every game is an experience, everything is an experience, like, duh. But in terms of how Sonic games work, there's a certain amount of, like, I guess spectacle, I guess feeling that you get from these games. That's like, okay, say for instance, Sonic Adventure 2. Like, that is a spectacle. That's an experience. That's a game that you experience. Sonic Adventure, the first one, is a game. You know? It's like comparing, Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'm not saying Sonic the Hedgehog is like Red Dead Redemption 2. It is not in any way, shape, or form. No matter how hard it wants to be, no matter how hard I'm sure somebody wants it to be and wants to try to be, is certainly not Red Dead Redemption 2. That being said, Red Dead Redemption 2 is less of a game and more of an experience. Whereas a game that's similar to it, like Fallout 3, that's a game. That's not an experience. That is a video game. That is as video gamey as you can get. So there's a wide difference, and I think Sonic the Hedgehog, the original, it's an experience. It is the type of game that you play once, and you enjoy it the first time around, and you go, wow, that was really cool. Once you start playing it a couple times over, it becomes more video gamey, and you see it for its more video gamey aspects, and then you kind of don't appreciate it as much. Because at the end of the day, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, maybe without all the Sonic Origins cool stuff on it, without all the swaz, if you will, it's kind of just it's a better version of Mario. It's 16-bit, much faster, much more physics-based Super Mario Bros. And that's kind of the consensus. Like, Sonic the Hedgehog, yes, it's a 16-bit game. Yes, it came out on a 16-bit console. But it does not compare to what would become its, oh gosh, what do you say? Its competitor in Super Mario World. You know, I've played Super Mario World. I don't really like Mario games, so I have no real business to judge a Mario game. Like, I've played a few of them, to completion, mind you, but never ones that were really... They didn't tickle my pickle. You know, Sonic touches me just right. What the f am I even saying, bro? But you get the gist. Sonic the Hedgehog, to me, is much more appealing than Mario. Always has been. I don't really like Mario. He's boring to me, if I'm being real. Super Mario is boring. It's just not fast enough. And maybe Sonic the Hedgehog was already like draining my attention span from when I was very little. But it's just how it is. Like, I've played Mario games, like I said. I've played a couple of them to completion. It was the original Super Mario Bros. And when I play Sonic 1, after beating the original Super Mario Bros., I realize, wow, this game is kind of like a 16-bit Super Mario Bros., but much faster and much more physics-based. Like, it's a more modern version of what Super Mario Bros. Would have been had it not been an Italian plumber that's a little fat guy. You know? Instead, it's a little fat blue guy that's a hedgehog. You know? Fighting a big fat guy that looks like an egg. It's a lot of fat guys. I don't get it. I really don't get it, guys. I don't know. That's kind of... Those are my views on the original Sonic the Hedgehog. And I know that we just passed Marbles, or... whatever. The cutscene is about to start, so I'm just gonna let it go. It's already started, but you know what? It's not really a cutscene because I can still play through it. Love you guys, mean it, and I'll do my outro in a bit. Outro. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, y'all. That was a long video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around till the end. I really appreciate it. Like I said, long video, retro game, which means that is like a double bad omen. That's like breaking a mirror while walking underneath a ladder. So YouTube will probably harm me, and I might not get any views on this video. But you know what? For those of you who stayed, comment something. You will be put in the next video, and I will give you a direct shout out. I will read your name off like you're a Patreon supporter. I wish I made a Patreon. I could make a Patreon sometime. I just don't know how to do it, and I want to do it in a way that's cool and orthodox. Anyway, rambling. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making this video. I'm sure that you are all very well aware of the fact that I did not get the true ending in Sonic 1. That makes me sad a little bit. Yeah. So, I wanted to propose to you guys something really cool that we could do. If you guys want me to, I will totally 100% go back through the game. I'll do like a PlayStation live stream, or I'll call my friends on Discord and we'll do like haha funny moments and we'll go through the entire game together. Just let me know in the comments, guys, what you would like me to do, and I will do it. So we could either do A, a live stream, which I'll have to learn how to set up, or B, I could call my friends and I can do a whole run through like this game, or like I did for this video, except I'll just cut it up super short to try and get all the Chaos Emeralds, and I'll whittle it down to the funny moments. That way it's not an hour and a half long, or maybe 2 hours, because I don't know if I'm good at recording videos, and I don't know if I would be able to beat Sonic 1 first try getting emeralds again if I took another crack at it. So, needless to say, thank you for watching this video. Like I said, leave it down in the comments if you want me to do a live stream or talk with my friends. Either way, I'm probably going to get on a Discord call and talk with my pookies. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really, truly appreciate it. Y'all seriously rock. 200 some odd, I want to say it's like 285 views on the Sonic video, the previous one, the backdoor pilot. Thank you for those views. It means a lot. It gives me a lot of watch time. Plus, it allows me to have a gigantic ego because I produced a video with well over the amount of subscribers that I have. So thank you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever, you know, YouTube call to actions. Bullshit. Yeah, remember to take care of yourselves. Remember to, go outside and get some fresh air and get some sun. And I know that it'll suck, especially if you don't have protective eyewear. I get it. Me too. I'm a hermit. I've got light eyes. I bumped my microphone. I am so sorry. That just showed up on the mic track. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Go pet your dog. Go hug your mom and your dad. Especially if they're super cool. If they're not super cool, well, womp womp. They suck. Oh well, that's bad for them because they miss out on the fact that you're a super cool person. Yeah. I think that's about it from me. I'll see you guys later. Later, guys. Ta-ta. Bye, Pookies. Bye. Bye.